the series. So welcome to week five to lesson 13, designing social media content format, CTAs and engagement. So can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? And can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, today we'll be seeing the importance of visual content for social media, platform-specific post formats and sizes, the anatomy of a scroll-stopping post, CTA design examples, and creating social media posts. The objective of this lesson is by the end of the lesson, you should be able to understand design principles for major platforms, create optimized layouts for various post types, apply CTA techniques to boost engagement, design and export a shareable on-brand social media post. So, why social media and why does it matter? Why social media design? Why does it matter? Why is it important? So, visual content is 40 times more likely to be shared than just text content. Why? Because visual content is more appealing. It's more appealing. So, another thing is it helps brands build recognition, trust, and emotional connection. Social media posts, right? Because social media posts apply what? Branding. And what do you say about branding? Branding builds brand recognition for people to know your business. And the more professional a flyer or a social media post looks like, the more trustworthy that company appears to be. So a well-designed post can generate leads, sales, or awareness. So for example, if you're doing a Facebook ad, then you want your design to be well curated in order to ease the understanding of whatever product or service you're offering. And this can greatly increase your leads or sales or awareness of your business in case you're looking for followers, likes, depending on what your aim for your design is for. So it also matters for increasing brand consistency and professionalism. So as we said in the beginning of this program, graphic design is communication and strategy. So we said your design must communicate something, right? Be it whether it's a poster or a flyer, it must communicate something. Visual communication. So what are some elements of an effective post? Some elements. First and most important thing is branding. And this has to do with what? The logo, the brand colors, and a consistent style, right? Consistent style. The headline is to grab attention. Headline generally big, very big, right? See, headlines are usually generally very big to grab attention. They usually have subtext or description to add clarity. For example, here I have a subtext here to add clarity. Visual, an engaging photographic or illustration. So for example, you can see some visuals here which by themselves already speak a lot. Just by looking at these visuals, already know, okay, this is a pastries flyer, for example. So you're communicating not just with your text but also with your visuals. These visuals contribute to creating engagement on your design. It's not just there for beauty. So and then you have the call to action. It encourages the user to do something. So okay, after looking at this design, right? This is specifically for like in case you're designing for to advertise something. When you're designing to advertise something, then CTAs are very important. It encourages the user to do something. So okay, after looking at this, like what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to order? Am I supposed to contact you? Am I supposed to book an appointment? You see, that's what a CTA tells the audience, right? So, however, if we're doing something like a a a poster, for example, in the case of a poster, right, then a CTA will not really be necessary. CTAs into come into play when you are selling something, when there's something to sell. While if there's not something to sell, for example, a booking or a product or a registration to an event or a service, then CTAs are not important. For example, if you're making maybe a poster for a sports brand, for example, uh, a a showcase, voila, this is the right word. A poster for a showcase to showcase maybe a product or a new shoe, a new bag. Then in that case, a CTA is not important because the aim here is to showcase the product and not for the user to buy the product, right? So you have to understand where to use CTAs and where not to use CTAs. All components should serve a clear message. All components in your design should serve a clear message. So I've seen all these things before. This is just a recap. So designing a clear CTA, what should a clear CTA look like? A CTA or a call to action tells the viewer what to do next. Some common examples, right, are like shop now, tag a friend, swipe to learn more, use code this now to get a discount, join our newsletter. If you've been going through social media posts or even websites, you should have seen some of these CTAs. So it encourages you to do something. So, okay, I've seen this website, I've seen this design, what should I do now? That's what CTA does. So CTA should be visible. Let me say, should be in a spot where somebody can easily spot it. Your CTA should not be hidden somewhere in your design. It should be somewhere that you can easily spot it. It should be actionable. Actionable simply means it tells the user what to do. It should be short and specific. You cannot write a whole paragraph as a CTA. Your CTA is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 words. So it's not a whole paragraph. You're not explaining your product in your CTA. You're telling the user in very simple words what to do next. So what are some best practices when you're designing social media for social media? One of the most important is to stay on brand, right? Meaning what? To use the brand font, brand colors, brand style. Avoid using too many fonts or styles. Don't cut the canvas. So try to do less with more. So avoid putting, if the information is too big, right, then you can fraction it into 2 designs or 3 designs or 4 designs. Avoid trying to combine too much information into one design. Design becomes too crowded and becomes unreadable. Export in the correct dimension and file type. So if you're designing maybe for is it why you are designing, why are you supposed to post that design? Is it for a Facebook reel, an Instagram reel? Is it a YouTube thumbnail? Is it a Instagram post? So depending for where you want to post it, you have to use the correct dimensions. We went over dimensions already. Same thing goes for print. If you're printing for a table, then if you're designing something for a table, then you need to know the dimensions of that table. If you're designing maybe a bottle wrap for a packaging, you have to know the dimensions of the bottle to know how exactly to design it. And exporting the correct file type. So if you're exporting for print, then you should be exporting in PDF. If you're exporting to show on your screens or social media, then it should be in either PNG or JPEG. So once you finish your design, test how it looks on your mobile phone, how it looks on the laptop, on different screens, right? Because sometimes it might not look the same, especially when it comes to colors, font sizes. The way something looks on your machine, not the same way it's going to look on your phone. So always send design on your phone and compare it. Is it readable on my phone? Very important. So what works and what doesn't work when it comes to design? So an effective post should have a clean background, a big bold headline. Make sure headline is bold and visible. Your headline cannot be the same size as your body. Balance hierarchy. Talk about a visual hierarchy, right? So there must be a balanced hierarchy. So the user should flow easily across your design. The user shouldn't be struggling to understand what your design is, what you're trying to communicate with your design. You should be able to flow easily from the title to the footer, where you have your contact information. Use strong image and clear call to actions. Right? Images that portray what you're actually designing. So images that speak right for themselves. So for example, you can't have a pastries flyers and then you're putting you're designing maybe a flyer to advertise pastry services, pastries, right? Like cakes, and on your images you have jollof rice. Doesn't match. So what are some examples of poor post? We have cluster design, means you're trying to put too much information, then everything becomes clustered and unreadable. Too much text, low contrast or hard to read font. You're putting a white text on an almost white background, unreadable. You're putting a white text on a very bright background, unreadable. Missing branding. Your company already has the company your business is designing for already has a branding system, but you're designing with your own. So these are some things to avoid. Or maybe you're just combining colors anyhow. Maybe there was no existing branding. Okay, you're designing something. There's no existing branding. But now with your design you have like 16 colors on it. There should be certain sort of consistency. So now as a practice exercise, we're going to head into Photoshop and try to follow this workflow we've been talking about for a while now. So when you open your Photoshop, go to File, New, you put your dimensions, your width and your height. This is how I told you about 1080 pixels against 1080 pixels for the width and the height. So I told you it forms like a square, right? It forms a square. So what is a square? A square is simply a shape that has the length and the width are the same. So let's say I don't put 1080 against 1080. If I put maybe 2000 against 2000, it will still form a square. So you say if you put your file name, maybe my social media.
Was it not instead 210 against 210?
1080 against 1080 is the one I give you as the standard. And what that
Yes.
does, it forms a square, right? Your
Yes.
canvas is a square. So if I change those dimensions from 1080 and put 2000 against 2000, what shape will it form? Still a
Still a
square,
square.
right? Yes, it should be
Yeah.
I've increased the number of pixels, right? But it still should maintain the same format of a square. Do you understand?
So even so it means even if you use 2100, 2100, it's still a square.
It's still a square.
Okay.
The standard is 1080 by 1080 pixels I gave you.
Yeah, yeah.
So for this design, we're going to be using 2000 against 2000. So press on create and you have your blank canvas here like this. So we'll be reproducing this flyer right here in a very fast and seamless manner. So For the past two classes, we'll be going through workflow, right? Workflow from the moment you get in contact with the client till when you're submitting your design. And we said today we're going to see how you go about your design process proper once you enter Photoshop. So you have created your canvas, you have gotten the brief, the ones your client wants a client to advertise their services, you have gotten the brief. So now it's time to design. So you've created your canvas. So what is the next thing you have to do now? The next thing is the information which has to be there. What information has to be there? Okay, our flyer is about advertising branding services. It's about advertising branding services. So we have to get what? We have to get a, as we said before, we have to get a title, maybe then after our title, we'll get a subtitle here, maybe. After our subtitle, what are we trying to advertise? Branding services, right? We might list our actual services here, then we'll have our call to action here, and then we'll have our contact info somewhere down here, and then we're going to have what? Our image right here, and our logo here. So basically, what do we have here? We have our wireframe. So we already know how we're going to place everything together on our design. That's the first step. How we're going to put things together. And I said you can do this on your pen and paper with your pencil, right? With your pencil on your paper, or you can sketch straight to Photoshop or Illustrator and do it there. So basically, this is how our design is going to look like. So now the next step now is actually now putting those information. I have to put a heading, right? So now how do we come up with a heading? So we're very lucky to be living in this. I mean, you are very lucky to be living in this era of AI. Back in my own days when I was young, there wasn't AI. So you have to come up with the information yourself. Sometimes the client has the information already, you want to just put on the flyer. Sometimes you want to come up, most times you want to come up with this information. So back in the days, we didn't have this AI stuff that you have now. So we had to come up with this ourselves. So we had to come up with a catchy heading and subtitle. So apart from putting the information together, I want to also come up with the content. So now you're blessed to have certain important tools such as AI, such as ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest. So you can head over to one of these AI tools, such as Gemini, for example. So you can head over to Gemini, and then when using AI, always make sure to give AI as much detail and context as to what you want, as to what you are doing, and what outcome you expect of it as possible. What did I say? I said when you're using AI, always make sure you give it as much context and detail as to what you are doing and what output you're expecting from the AI. So what are we doing right now? We are okay, the page is still loading. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, so we have to give it context. So for example, we are designing a social media.
What do you mean by copy? Write the copy for the flyer.
The copy means the text, right? The text.
Okay.
So your prompt can be as long and as detailed, right, as you wish. We're just going to give this for it, and it's going to process up, come up with information, right? So you can use an even more longer and detailed prompt. Remember I said the more information and the more precise your prompt is, the better the output is as well. So the information given might not be perfect from the get-go, right? So it's up to you to refine it. So let's try to refine the output. So this is a new output which she has given. So she has reduced the body to a two-sentence phrase, and this is the title. So let's prefine this title again. So this is where we are at now. So we have this title here, convert your clients, your audience into clients. This seems good enough. Of our title here. Can now come now. Cancel this, we don't need it anymore. So my text tool, then you put in your title. Can increase the width and decrease the size as well. So there you have it. We have our title. We can refine it later on, but it's there for now. Now we have to put our subtext here. Use the text tool again, and this time we're going to create a text box rather by clicking and dragging. So I'm going to change the font type now. We're using the Montserrat font to semi-bold and decrease the size here from 30 to 14. So I can now go on my gallery here and tired of your brand feeling a little we are here to change that your brand is your story. So I'm going to copy from here. This mouse is terrible. So the point is, you don't just have to take anything which AI gives you because it has given you. It is up to you as the designer to refine the response given to you and select only what is needed. Not everything AI gives you is what you should just straight up use. So now we have our subtitle. The next thing now is we'll be going for our services, and we want the services to be like, okay, Okay, we want the services to be like in a box like this, in a box. So I have already a box here, so create another text box here. This time we can set the color to white, and we can head over to Gemini and copy. We'll adjust it later. And paste. So now we have our content here. For our services. And then at the bottom here we to have our contact info. So at the bottom we're supposed to have our contact info. So for our contact info we'll have some icons and text as well. Okay, we'll do that actually later for the contact info. So now we need an image here as well as our logo here and our small call to action here. So we can have like another button here So our aim here, right, is not to put colors immediately. So our aim is first of all get the layout right. So I'm showing you the design workflow. So you can have like maybe contact us now. So there you have it. And now we need our image and our logo. So now talk about, said image is part of visual communication, right? So if you're designing for something, then you have to get an image which matches what you're designing for. So for example, here for the image we're going to go for somebody holding a laptop, for example, a lady or a man holding a laptop. You should, because when you're designing using your laptop, so it kind of shows like the design process. Another picture we could use, right? We could use, for example, an image of a laptop, maybe showing on the screen of the laptop will be showing some designs, right? So you can put like some of your past designs on the screen of your laptop as a showcase. The laptop can also be like here like this, and the laptop will be showing some of your past designs. Or a mobile phone. The mobile phone can also be here, and then on the mobile phone, your past designs will be showing, right? Be highlighted using a mockup. So that's a means you can use, or you could use an image also, right? An image of maybe a man or a woman holding a laptop here to symbolize, okay, this is the actually to symbolize, oh, this is the designer or the brand designer, and he's the one that's going to handle the designs. So you see how those different images can communicate what you're aiming for. So what would be a mistake here in terms of images? So let's just say maybe I put maybe an image of maybe a very nice car, here, right? The picture will be nice, right? Design might look good, actually, visible, visually good, but the picture of that car does not communicate our intent here. It doesn't match. No matter how beautiful a car can look or can fit into this design, it won't really communicate what we're aiming for. Or I'll put a very nice image of a water bottle here. I'll put the image of a cook here holding her spatula here. Doesn't really communicate the right information. Or a mechanic or a pilot. So it has to communicate that information, as we said. So where can I get this image? I can generate them with AI as well by going to Google Labs. Image FX. This is the site here. Image FX stroke labs.google FX/FX. Go to this site here, and I can generate any image I want here. This is done by this site made by Google, and I can simply put in my prompt here and generate any image which I want. Very realistic, seamless image for free, or absolutely free. So this is different from other popular tools such as DaVinci, or Leonardo. While it's Leonardo AI. The difference is because this one is free. Leonardo AI gives you some certain sort of credit points for free, and when those credit points finish, you have to now pay. But ImageFX is completely free. And there are also other free tools like this, but for the purpose of this, we're going to be using ImageFX. And for example, we can have our prompt. We said before, the prompt has to be detailed. The more detailed your prompt is, the better you. So this call is going to be expiring in 15, which is expiring in 15 minutes. When it expires, we'll send a link in order to join and continue. So today's course might have to be divided. Maybe the next part will be continued on Monday in order to avoid the course being so long, session being so long. So in the meantime, we're here. So you can say a young black woman, for example. A young black beautiful woman beautiful lady holding a laptop with a gentle smile on her face, maybe dressed in a casual corporate outfits, wearing lenses and gentle smile on my face. So let's see what is going to put for us. So you can also check other settings such as the camera type if you're somebody who is well versed in cameras, or or the type of output. For example, if you want it to be like a sketch, or you can actually just process all your settings here. It's just best to give all your settings here which you want. The more specific you are, the better your result. But what I want to show you here is the ratio, right? The aspect ratio. The different aspect ratio: the square, portrait, landscape, mobile portrait, mobile landscape. So you can decide which portrait you want your portrait to come out in. Let me just choose mobile portrait. So as the picture was taken with a mobile phone. So once I'm done, I click on create. It's going to spin for a while, spin for a while. So another way, right, we can get images as of on site, which I gave you, for example, on FreePic. Go to freepic.com. You can get images here as well. Some are paid, some are free, so you can get the free ones. So you can see how beautiful the image is. Look at this, for example. Completely.
Can the AI create the image that is already cut?
Already what?
Cut, like
Okay,
it's
like
like a
remove the
PNG.
background.
Yes.
Just gonna remove the background. You can use an online background remover or remove the background yourself. I'm not sure how to remove backgrounds in images. So you can check and see which one fits more with your face. So this So you can also come to free pick here. When you search, for example, young black man with a laptop. Black man with a laptop, for example. Now, the advantage of free pick is, although some images are the free ones, right, which you can use. Let me select this one or this one, for example. Or this one. Let's say this one. The advantage of free pick is what you have this option here, remove background. So in free pick, you can click here and you have an auto background remover, which will just move the background immediately. So there you have it, the background has been removed. You can download the PNG directly. That is using free pick. So there are other tools as well. I told you about Pixels, Pixabay, which you can go and check images as well. You can make use of AI. You can make use of these those free websites which are giving you. So you see that we've used AI to generate our content. We've used AI to generate our image. Really. We've used Pinterest to have layout ideas, design ideas. So the different tools. This is the workflow which you can use in designing almost anything. Same goes for logos, posters. So now for image, you might have to move the background first. We'll go to downloads. This was our image that with the background, is the one with the lady. So upload this one. Since the picture is generated by AI, the quality is very high, so moving the background would be an easy task. So we use our quick selection tool. You can select subject, you can automatically select the subject out of the frame. You can even use AI to create professional pictures of yourself. Do you know that? Did you know that?
No, but true.
Create professional images of yourself. So instead of using
Will,
this
will you?
fictional person, I can create a picture which
Yes.
looks exactly like me using AI. So you have to come here and refine your selection a little bit. And refine your selection a little bit. And refine your selection a little bit. But anyways. So there we have it. Okay, there are some mistakes here that we'll have to adjust. For you to get the edges rightly. So this is much better now. Go to select and mask. We've been through this process already, so this shouldn't be an issue for anybody who has been following the course so far. And you tweak your settings here, and increase the smoothness a little bit, maybe add some little bit of contrast. So while do you own, you make sure your selection is perfect, right? I'm trying to go fast because of time, so I shouldn't spend too much time on this. Familiar with layer mask. There you have it. our image is ready to be used. So now let me show you another additional thing which I had